Holler if you hear me. Welcome to Friday night in this corner of YouTube land, ladies and gentlemen. What we are doing is concluding this week's worth of art streams, and we're going to keep on going with doing recreations out of this lovely piece from my Amazon wish list, sent to me by my subscriber Relentless, J. Scott Campbell's More Marvelous Art, the third volume of Marvel art from J. Scott Campbell with this illustrious cover. But what we're doing tonight is a piece of the one and only Spider-Gwen, and there's plenty of examples of Spider-Gwen's work in here, of Campbell's work of Spider-Gwen, to actually be more correct. Now it's just a matter of trying to find them, like this one here. She's both sexy and adorable at the same time. She's the kind of, she's the kind of love-hungry sex kitten that you can also introduce to your mother, and she would approve. And then your father would give you a high five under the dinner table. There's here, just, keeping it, showing off her whole beautiful little petite body, but still showing you that, yeah, she is a pretty young lady, but she's a young lady who knows what to do with that beautiful body of hers, besides saving people, of course. And there's one up here where she's giving you a little bit more coy. Yes, she's always a coy, kind of nice, shy girl, but she can also be a little naughty at the same time, as I've mentioned, especially the way she can pop that hip and give that little expression, and the hood up over there. She's trying to hide her dirty girl side, but trust me, it's always the girls that look like her and act like her that are the most naughty in bed. I know from experience. But the one we're going to be looking for tonight is this one here, of her being a little bit more coy. And from that piece, we're going to go and take that figure and put it towards this in pencil form that I've done. And let's see what we can go through and get all this out of there, get from this and rebuild it in that image into mine. Hence why my Amazon wishlist has so many things like this, in order to look at the great masters of the female form and comic book form and build up my skills by seeing what I can do with theirs and adopting their best techniques, and of course inventing it into something of myself. Because yes, you can of course find professional work in comics or any comic related kind of creative industry, but you do it just based on you can draw like that, then that's only going to get you so far. Either it's a good introductory way to get into the business, because that's somebody who can draw, like draw women like J. Scott Campbell, but he's just grateful to be getting his first job so we can pay him peanuts. Then there's those where then you'll only get hired as some kind of secondhand imitation of a J. Scott Campbell or a Frank Cho. But yes, this is definitely a nice girl. She's the kind of good naughty girl, which just means that occasionally a very thorough spanking will make her behave herself. And with all that talk about naughty girls and nice girls and good girls and bad girls, all you girls and boys out there, don't forget to introduce yourselves right here in the chat right now. Returning viewers, of course, say hello, and those first-time viewers, say hello as well, and don't forget to subscribe, because we're all coming together here. As I do this, we're going to see also another great piece. Yes, this is the Spider-Gwen pages all right here. Just a girl, she's getting to know her, getting her uniform on, but she's cute, but she's also incredibly sexy. Then she's showing off more, and shows off a little bit more of her sassier side, but then she's at her most good naughty girl with this one. I see I see you checking out my beautiful ass. I'm all that time in the gym and gymnastics and dancing. Of course, I'm going to have nice, muscular, sloping dancer's legs with a round, firm, sloping dancer's ass, as well as the subtle muscle tone across that lovely dancer's back of hers. Yes, she is and yes, that is definitely what someone is saying in the stream right now, that Spider-Gwen right here is a naughty nymph, because yes, she's a good girl, but trust me, she's a good girl who also likes to be naughty, or else she wouldn't be wearing such tights around her subtly muscular dancer's athletic toned figure. Not to mention smirking up at us that way with that look on her face when she knows that her ass is utterly perfect and that we all enjoy looking at it. And also maybe spanking her. Unfortunately, she's only a drawing, so we can spank her all she want, and she won't scream out the safe word. Or you can imagine that she'll just start to cry and cry and cry and beg Daddy to stop punishing her. She admits that she knows what she did is wrong, and she doesn't want you to hurt her anymore. And then that's when you cradle her gently in your arms and say that, oh, I only punished you out of love, and now cradle her gently and wait until she stops crying, and then that's when you apply the Gold Bond lotion under her supple ass to heal the intense burns or wounds or whatever else that the welts that your bare hand or your paddle or belt or whatever to punish a bad girl for flaunting her beautiful body that way, in a way that's not the way a good girl does it. That's very naughty, and you must be punished for doing that. You need a stern punishment from Daddy. Yes. And then on the opposite, and then further that you have a full-on girl who starts off good. She's Marvel Girl, her little green skirt and all that, and then she becomes the Phoenix up there, but then gets seduced and goes to full-on domineering, punishment-happy, whipping whore. The Black Queen of the Hellfire Club version of Jean Grey there, with the leather corset, the rope whip, that little smirk, the little rose, not to mention the spiked leather neck collar up there. And then even further, her version of the Madeline Pryor getup, yes, the clone of Jean Grey who turns evil and becomes a henchwoman of Mr. Sinister. That's Madeline Pryor right there, who's in even naughtier, more evil version of when Jean Grey got hypnotized into becoming the Black Queen of the Hellfire Club in order to use both her mind and her immaculately erotic body to punish all of those that dare to challenge the Hellfire Club's dominance for power. And getting punished by her for not accepting her dominance would certainly be enjoyable. Besides that, we also have when she was first resurrected and the establishment of X Factor as a comic, where the original 5 X-Men joined together to become a team going all around the world globetrotting for rescuing mutants. And the surprise, they booked it on who would be the 5th member, the issue 1 of X Factor, who would be the who would be the 5th member of the group. We already have the original 5, but who would that be? And then the surprise, oh my god, Jean Grey was alive all along, sleeping in comatose, unconscious in the ship at the bottom of Jamaica Bay. That wasn't really her that died and came back as the Phoenix. What it was the Phoenix Force assimilated her body and then flew out from the waters of Jamaica Bay, thinking that it was Jean Grey and that the real Jean Grey was unconscious in the bottom of that ship. Hence, she came back with flying colors and flew around and was X Factor for the rest of the 80s until the Jim Lee-led reformation of the X-Men in the 90s led to X Factor being reinvented as a government group. And then you have the blue and gold groups of the X-Men, which I believe the blue group was where she joined. And then you get that outfit and that costume, which, of course, the X-Men fans of the 90s will remember very fondly from the cartoon and or the comic books. All of it still. And then we eventually got to see that. And then they do the Dark Phoenix costume cartoon, where we do, I think, I'm not sure if we see her in the Black Queen of the Hellfire Club, where the Hellfire Club's hypnotizing her into being the Black Queen and punishing all of those naughty humans that want to get in the way of the Hellfire Club's plans, leads to her lashing out, destroying the Hellfire Club, and becoming the Dark Phoenix, which we see up there, until eventually the Shi'ar Imperium takes her down, and that's how they thought was her first death. But that was only the beginning. When it comes to Jean Grey, death is only the beginning. Besides that, there's also other things like J. Scott Campbell's talent of drawing attractive women is his main calling card, but it's not all he's good at. He's also a fan of monsters, and case in point, his cover rendering for Venom, which right there, yes, Venom as played by Tom Hardy in the movie, which I think there's a sequel already in production, or its production's been delayed over and over because of lockdowns, but it's still, damn. I saw that one cover he did for Spider-Man during his Spider-Man cover run in the 2000s, where it was Spider-Man versus the Lizard. That Lizard was amazing. Hence why, just look at this and this beautiful 2-page cover spread of all those lovely X-Men ladies from the yes, I would say she's naughty, the naughty Russian magic with her big sword, toned stomach, and that lustrous hair. To then the other side, you've got the intimidating, sexy, shapely shapeshifter Mystique in her tight white dress with the blue figure and her skull belt. Then you've got the sensuous mistress of the winds, Storm, and the psychically sexy and powerful Psylocke with her lovely, lovely Japanese figure and her sai knife and her sword. Then off there in the corner, you've got his rendering of Sabretooth. Certainly memorable. And then you've got Old Man Logan over there, the J. Scott Campbell way. Yes, you're supposed to unfold this. And besides that, you get what other stuff? I'm trying to show off other non-lady related things. You get this nice little Breakfast Club parody poster cover he did, where you get the new Teenage Hulk, you got the Miles Morales Spider-Man, all of them together, and really that Champions comic, this variant covers the best thing to ever come out of that new Champions thing with the new teenage Cyclops and the Asian Hulk, and all the arbitrary race swaps. That's the best part about it. Let's see what else. Some other things besides the beautiful ladies he's got a drawing. Let's see some more. I can find some other examples. All right, well, here you get all the Marvel heroes together in tribute with Stan Lee. Of course, all the ones immediately around him are the beautiful ladies of Gwen Stacy, and there's Mary Jane, and there's the Invisible Woman. She's got a great ass, too. I know she's a married woman and a mother, but that just makes her ass all the more beautiful and spankable. That she has a body like that while being a mother of two and a devoted wife. That's... If Mr. Fantastic ever does anything to hurt her, I'll do things to him in ways that will punish him, that will make him useless to a woman, as well as things that would make Dr. Doom's plans look like nothing, like child's play. We also get Marvel Girl over there. Oh, there's always those redheads. They truly are an addictive substance on Earth. We've got the original version of the Beast down there in the X-Men tights, looking all hairy, but not covered in blue fur. There's the Thing kind of shoved back there alongside Iron Man, Doctor Strange. We get that Silver Surfer up there. I think the first time J. Scott Campbell ever did anything with the Silver Surfer is just standing back there, but very stoic, and that immaculately rendered figure. That's because he does the sexy women, but he's also great at the idealize the male superhero figure and perfect comic book style male anatomy, male musculature anatomy right there. Even though, yes, Silver Surfer is a eunuch, but that's beside the point. Another great Spider-Man. Every Spider-Man rendering from Campbell is beautiful, hence why he did these legendary covers for Spider-Man for several years around the turn of the millennium. We got Angel up there in his whole costume. There's a nice Hulk, even though we only read see the his head and these muscles up here, wings leading up into his neck. I forgot the name of those muscles leading up into his neck right there. Then, of course, Captain America himself, Sentinel of Liberty, and then right behind there is Daredevil, and we get a little Snowball, Iceman. And then you got him, Lee, with all the villains, and there's that great Galactus head back there, Mordock, I think, up there, a great Doc Ock, who we actually get to see in full figure, even though he's in the distance, and great theatrically gestured the Dread Dormammu. I can't remember his name. There's, of course, Doctor Doom and the Red Skull. There's Mr. Magneto. Unfortunately, I don't know the name of all these characters. I know down there, the one with the oversized green head, that's the leader. One of the, if not the first recurring Incredible Hulk villain, the beautiful Madame Hydra. She's, yes, after Baron von Stucker, she took his place over in Hydra in that beautiful green latex with that whip and her Mauser. Not to mention those 6-inch heels. I honestly wouldn't mind joining S.H.I.E.L.D. and trying to fight off Hydra from it being captured and interrogated by one Miss Madame Hydra. Sort of like in the G.I. Joe world, and the Baroness fighting Cobra, be captured and interrogated by the Baroness would honestly be worth it. Then you get little Mole Man down there, the original Fantastic Four villain, straight from issue 1, as well as Loki up there, the Thor version of Loki. Conniving as ever. Then, what else we got? Any more monster or non-sexy lady related ones? But I keep going back to Spider-Gwen because she's just so damn that gorgeous, that perfect combination of sexy and adorable. She's the shameless sex kitten who's also a good girl that will love you but also drain you nightly. and you really need to take your vitamins and stay hydrated to keep up with her appetite because it will be exhausting. And remember, all the more considering she's not a redhead, so remember to say your prayers, especially say your prayers, and take your vitamins, and drink your milk. Yes, we get this nice little creative little bit of using the same composition with a different getup. You've got the Zoe Saldana's hilariously playing in Guardians of the Galaxy. And hilarious, I mean the stick lady being cast to play a warrior babe like Gamora. And then that same composition, essentially, we get this, except there she's got the gun and the sword and the hoodie with the different outfits. Although in both of them, her lovely figure is, of course, accentuated in the very, very proper way, which in the Campbell way is, yes, we pay you to idealize what the true beauty of the female form looks like. Who cares what idiots like Lizzo has to say? She's a disgusting narcissist and doesn't know what she's talking about. Then we get to another one of the beautiful leather-loving Russian, Miss Magic, of course, with a K. And yes, for all the acclaim and the rising stardom of Anya Taylor-Joy, her portrayal of Magic in the New Mutants movie with that Russian accent is awful. But then again, there's a very short list of example of actors who can do a convincing Russian accent. And yep, I'm pretty sure from off the top of my head, I can think of Helen Mirren in 2010, and that's it. Of people who can do actors that do a good Russian accent. And yes, well, Helen Mirren in a shapeless flight suit, hiding her agelessly sensual figure with a giant 80s Richard Simmons perm, is the most convincing Russian accent of any actors I've seen do it that doesn't have the this one. All right, here's somebody I said about Lizzo. Somebody here saying she's not a narcissist. She's fat. She's fat. Okay, here we get a bit of both. We get non-female rendering and a female rendering at the same time of the sharing of Mjolnir between Thor and the female Thor that has hilariously been cast to be played by Natalie Portman, all 8 pounds of her. I mentioned before at the Comic-Con where they announced her, the director was literally helping her hold up the prop hammer. She's that scrawny and born and bred New Yorker. She's a prime example of that. What I said before about the New York Cougar and the LA Cougar, and she's the born and raised New Yorker, and on top of that, real super progressive Hollywood actress. So yeah, she's been living off of tobacco, cigarettes, and bulimia probably since she was 12, for all we know, maybe even sooner. And the proof is in the pudding that falls out of her throat when she sticks her fingers down in there to get rid of the meal. And then she'll go and put on some $3,000 dress and give herself a giant virtue signal by having the names of all these female directors that haven't been nominated. Blow me, lady. You shook your ass in white tights in a Star Wars prequel, and you did a stoner comedy with James Franco that was marketed entirely around you skinny dipping in a G-string. Blow me. Then we get these beautiful homage covers to the Savage Land story arc from the Jim Lee years of the X-Men. Of course, the legendary Savage Land Rogue getup that Jim Lee made and proved that really probably was the issue that really made him a star with the X-Men. Just look at that, and now you know why there's vinyl statues and toys of this version of Rogue's getup, her in a little Savage Land outfit with the green and the yellow, which eventually led to the kind of green and yellow version of the costume that Jim Lee iconically designed for the comics that was then taken for the cartoon show, not that he got any royalties for it. And you get this beautiful lady, the lovely lady the female half of Mr. Khazar from the Savage Land with their giant pet saber-toothed tiger, I believe that is. And oh yeah, she's essentially Sheena, but with a different name. But either way, she's still a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous girl that knows her way around the savage jungle. So she may look like a beautiful Victoria's Secret model, but watch your words and hands around her, or else she's got a giant spear, as well as access to a saber-toothed tiger she could give the signal to. Christopher here in the chat saying he doesn't want Sheena, he wants a Hina. Well, then you have to just go and look up Khazar of the Savage Land from the X-Men comics. Then we get the lovely jungle version of Storm, Mistress of the Winds. Oh, yes. And all that lovely jade on her outfit there, those little jewels on her immaculate hips. And the nice hips you can grip when you're between the sheets, mixing vanilla and chocolate across each other's peaks. And also another great, more recent Spider-Man cover, not from that great Spider-Man cover series that Campbell did in around the 2000s, but I think actually it's more refined, like he figured out the code and sharpened. Like everything with Campbell seems to actually improve with time. He seems to get that special ability of one of those artists that gets better. Because what comes most of the time in comics where you get an artist that becomes hugely popular and they either stay with that style and it just stays that way, or the style like degenerates over time. And J. Scott Campbell, no, his style is actually still sharpening. He's still getting better. Like, look at this stuff, and then look at the stuff he was doing, in with Danger Girl or with Gen 13, and oh yeah, and definitely improved. And that other stuff is still great, but that's the thing. There's no such thing as bad J. Scott Campbell work. The only way that is case would just be if you're not a fan. And by that I mean you're not a fan, you just don't like his artwork, as opposed to those Lena Dunham neurotic cunt types that just want to piss and moan about drawing women that look like, this instead of looking like anorexic lesbians or, Lizzo in crappy cosplay costumes and calling them superheroes. And when it comes to an example of Campbell's artwork improving, this is actually an homage to the most famous cover that Campbell drew from this star-making work in the 90s, Gen 13. I mentioned before, famously, the lead heroine, Miss Caitlin Fairchild, that buff, beautiful, brainy redhead, in her pose like this, with a tight little top that had the team name spread across her heaving C-cup breasts. And yes, they're C-cups, according to my subscriber Relentless when I asked her about the bra size here, with her lovely green one-piece bikini costume unzipped and down here like this, but her legs, the costume there for Fairchild from Gen 13, the legs are bare, and the rest of the team is in the rest of the poses of Gen 13. And yes, it is a very, very mid-90s comic. It's like all the pop culture, like hip teen, extreme mid-90s stuff you could think of, all right there in Gen 13. The one issue that I do have opens with 2 pages of the characters playing an obvious Mortal Kombat game, but it's a knockoff of it, so they don't have to pay the royalties. And yeah, there they are with how the Mortal Kombat characters look, what the heroes look like playing the game itself. It's a awful lot of fun. But yes, be warned, you either will enjoy the nostalgia or laugh at all the dated things about the mid-90s isms of Gen 13. And there's this one, which you have to be careful to unfold because there's already a hole in the paper up there where it's these 4 covers of Wolverine that all come together surrounded in the circle of this one Wolverine in his classic outfit from his time when he was born, the year that Canada first became a country, and his original woman, a beautiful, beautiful redhead farm lady who devoted her life and her heart to him before eventually, of course, she died. Then there's this lovely Pocahontas-looking lady here he was with, and then she died. All the different loves of Wolverine's life, which for a man who was born the year Canada became a country, by attrition, he's going to have a lot of different women that came and went in his life, like in Highlander, like cross Connor McLeod with Clint Eastwood and Unforgiven, and you come up with Wolverine. Of course, not to mention Jean Grey up there and the beautiful Mariko from this first miniseries, where they actually were about to get married until she walked out on him. She left him there at the altar, sort of like when Kirk Cameron was supposed to get married on the show Growing Pains, but he had the actress who was playing his love interest fired off the show because he didn't like her having been in Playboy was something that he did not want to keep co-starring with her due to his religious beliefs, which that's why I've had this thought in my head about meeting the actor, but having a jacket on, and then unzipping it to have a shirt that prints that actress's Playboy centerfold on and saying, "Hey, hello there," and offer to shake his hand, and just to gauge his reaction. Here we get a mix of, we get mainly prom is about, of course, the non-female heroes, but then we get also a lovely lady rendering because we get the 3 different versions of Spider-Man flying around with Peter Parker rightfully front and center, And then down there you get Mary Jane and their daughter. Uh, like mother, like daughter, she's gonna grow up to be a very, very striking woman. And knowing the kind of normal girl who can keep up with a superhero in bed, of course, that's why the real true love of Peter Parker was a redhead, Miss Mary Jane, because the superpowers, at least to me, mean super sex drive, and no human woman could match a superhero's lustiness quite like a redhead can. Sort of yes, sort of the where superheroes where at average a bad day for a superhero, he's on the level of John Holmes, if you ask me, and or Frank Miller during the funny bit in DK2 and The Dark Knight Strikes Again, where Superman gets after getting beaten by Wonder Woman when they're arguing, he proves his manliness by flying her up into space, and they start doing it, and the power of their thrusting is so large and so intense it causes tidal waves that trigger aircraft carriers to flip over. It triggers volcanoes, and it's all in the national news. Then they crash back into the earth with their orgasm, and it makes her pregnant right then and there. Yes, that's how virile Superman can be. He can impregnate Wonder Woman immediately, and she immediately knows she is carrying her Superman's child. Yes, yes, yes. Very nice. Of course, the Sentinel of Liberty is going to be seen rescuing a beautiful lady from Mr. Red Skull down there. That's a great rendering of the Red Skull as well in the pages there, and Bucky. Although Bucky here is blonde, but I've never read any 40s Captain America comics, so for all I know, Bucky Barnes right here was blonde originally, and then they changed it. Or that time where it was Rick Jones took over as being the Captain America's sidekick, around that time where it was the issues Jim Steranko did of Captain America, which actually have that right here for you to see. Yeah, this one I've got on me. It's one of those epic collections, and I got it because there's you get two things in here for the price of one. You get great Captain America Jack Kirby stuff, and I personally think Jack Kirby's work really came alive in a special way when rendering the first major Marvel creation of his. And then you get those wonderful Jim Steranko issues of Captain America with pages that look like this. And yes, it was Steranko who introduced Miss Madam Hydra, and you really got to see her first page in all its glory. And also get great rendering of there's yes, when Rick Jones became the new Bucky, right down there. There's according to Steranko, Captain America's his favorite superhero, so you can see why he upped his game with rendering his pages like this. And I get the impression that the personal devotion that Jack Kirby had to his first major Marvel hero creation is why, to me at least, in my eyes, his Captain America stuff is a cut above the Avengers and the Fantastic Four and the Black Panther and all of that. That's just those are what I'm seeing with my eyes. Then what else we get? Trying to show. Oh, yes. There's Miss Madame Hydra right there. And they do a little James Bondish kind of thing where we see those lovely sloping legs and those green tights. And there's a shot of her with her whip and the Mauser at her hip. Yes, yes. Sort of a Lucy Liu in green, I would say. And besides that, you get stuff like, if I can get to that one origin issue I was looking for. Where was it? Nope. Come on, where'd you go? All right, maybe a little later in the comic, in the collection here. Oh yeah, this one. Well, this is a great cover. Origin of Captain America. Simple, intense dynamic. You see the when it comes to Jack Kirby stuff, and Jack Kirby stuff at his best, which I say is Captain America, you really see a sense of dynamism, creativity, and pacing and imagination and a love of the human figure in motion across a panel, from page to page. I mean, just look at this one, and it's a basic 4-panel page right here, and look at what Cap's doing with his shield, seeing it bounce off those people, running after it, catching it just to wallop another guy there, and then you see this intricately rendered piece right there, this intricate machine, and what looks like, I'm guessing, was more Hydra people, or Hydratic people. And we see, yes, this is a retelling of his origins, and Steve Rogers looking like a 90-pound weakling, if I can get to it. Yeah, right there, getting rejected to serve his country in WW2. There's another shot of him down there where you see more of his figure and how scrawny as hell he is. And then he gets this super soldier experiment. He survives and becomes. Then you see him all ripped and shredded, looking buff. Great stuff. Yes. Buff the stuff, Captain America. And something else that would also probably not sit well with Marvel today, and I'm amazed this is allowed to be reprinted, but you have an issue of Captain America that involves him hunting down and tracking involvement with Mr. Chairman Mao right there. It's negatively depicting the commie assholes of China. You can, back when Marvel had balls. Yes, when Marvel had its balls. There he is, and there's the nefarious plan of them trying to harvest Captain America for their own nefarious communist regime. Oh, Nelly. Now, okay, I used to like Captain America done by Jack Kirby. Now I love Captain America done by Jack Kirby. Yes, yes, yes. He's called, you don't call him the Sentinel of Liberty for nothing. Oh, is this gonna, would these comics piss off AOC so much? And I love them twice as much for that reason. So, although this rendering of what I think is supposed to be Teddy Roosevelt could really work. At least that's what it looks like to me. There's like the eyes and glasses are too small for the rest of the face. Or am I just seeing that myself? Or is that a different character? Oh, yes, 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 yes. Oh, it's supposed to be a doctor, but to me, I see Teddy Roosevelt. So that's just me inferring, because, yeah, that guy down there, that's supposed to be a doctor, not Mr. Roosevelt. But either way, fight for your country the Captain America way. There we go. Even though you're only seeing from behind, but he's still kicking ass. Even though all we see are his ass. Luckily here we get a nice, real Cap dynamic with the way that, in almost an abstract way that Kirby drew figures. Like they say, Picasso is a painter, is abstract and can distort the figure, twist it, and then clearly this is not what actual like human anatomy looks like in any way, even by the comic book standards. This is not the kind of muscles and dynamism and foreshortening and perspective on a human figure that you would see with other artists. But Kirby knows what everything looks like, and then he's exaggerating and distorting it and twisting it in a way so that he could have these iconic poses like this that no other artist would have thought of, following all the rules of how you do the foreshortening and the perspective and how you render and anatomically correct. So that is definitely where we get why Kirby was the king. Just look at this one page right here for a little bit more. Then we'll put all this stuff down and get back to what the task at hand was, which is Spider-Gwen. Spider-Gwen. I still think it's a stupid concept, Spider-Gwen. Yes, the whole motive of the influence of Gwen Stacy is that she died. It's that paradox where she was a character that is most famous for how she died and she stayed dead. Yes, look back at that. The 100 issue 1 and 111 of Spider-Man, where Green Goblin kidnaps her, throws her off of, I think it's the Washington Bridge, and the whiplash from Spider-Man catching her by the foot with the web, with one of his webs, broke her neck. And that was the night Gwen Stacy died. It's like one of the most famous tragedies seen in superhero comics. And of course, the moment where the Green Goblin supposedly died when Spider-Man hunted him down, where, yes, he's impaled at the end of his own glider, was taken straight as the ending of the first movie. That's sort of what they were doing with the whole Kirsten Dunst scene of her being hung off the bridge by the Green Goblin in the first Spider-Man film. Or they sort of take inspiration from that and do it differently, while the thing of Green Goblin getting cornered, charging with Spider-Man with his glider, him dodging out of the way with the end to go and impale Green Goblin that way and kill him. Yeah, that's directly from from the subsequent issue of Spider-Man up to the movie. Let's see, what else we're gonna go. Just basic outlines here. Oh yeah. Ew. There we go with her finger. Yes, very pointy, sensuous fingers. Nice. Keeping them pointy. Because she is a very dirty girl, and no, she's a good girl who's just naughty. She's a good bad girl. And good bad girls just have very dainty, delicate, pointy fingers. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. Just look back at Madame Hydra that I showed you, and you'll see a lady who knows how to punish those that get in the way of Hydra. I don't know what her accent would be. I think she's supposed to be German or not, but maybe, maybe not. I'll have to look more into that more thoroughly. You will hail Hydra for me, yes. Maybe she is Russian, and she wants you to hail Hydra like this. That is good. You say not? Yes, that is good. You like to get spanked? Do you like it when I give you a spanking with my whip? Will you divulge information to Hydra now? Or do I have to use the whip again? Are you only resisting information in hopes I further punish you? And you are a man who likes punishment from women with beauty and strength. I assume that you do, except I am the woman who enjoys having men submitted to pain, because I think pain is the best kind of pleasure there, Mr. Captain America. I also find you sexy. Your devotion to your country is something I admire. And also, your manly physique gets me very, very wet. The crotchal area of my tights is practically Niagara Falls right now. So, if you were trying to seduce me, get me to save you from this compound, and I would defect to working for S.H.I.E.L.D., I would take you up on the offer. Because I am bad girl. But bad girl who would submit to devoted men of his country. So please, use this whip and give me back all the pain I've been giving you the whole time we've been here. Because I want a man who will punish me. Yes, yes, yes. Maybe a young Mila. Well, it's a little bit late now. I think she'd be too old for the part. But yes, Mila Jovovich would have been a better choice for the Baroness or Madame Hydra type. Good, good. That is real good. In former Soviet Ukraine, when we see big, manly American men running around saving the world, we pleasure ourselves while screaming his name out as a devotion to our erotic god. Yes, it is good. Now you torture me. Hence why the most overtly Russian Bond girl of the 90s is the one that was the most sexually depraved. The one that Famke Janssen played in GoldenEye. The great obvious pun of her name, Onatop. Oh yes, and her way of choking men, killing men with her legs in the middle of some very intense sex. Which of course the most frustrated moment of her life was not getting to do the same thing to James Bond, and her screaming out "Bulyach," which is a Russian for bastard. For years on end, I thought she had called him a biatch. No, what she was saying was "Bulyach," which is yes, bastard in Russian. Or the bit where she rappelled from the helicopter and was torturing, beating him to death, and putting a leg lock on him and saying, "The pleasure will be all mine." Yes. Until she gets suffocated on the helicopter, going crazy, getting shot, and she still has the repelling harness on, so she gets stuck. And yeah, her back is broken, being swung up against a big tree. Oh, yes. Most erotic death ever. You're too good to me, Mr. Bond. You know I like to be tortured in such a way. Even though I've got somebody here in chat who says that they spit on the Russians. Okay. No. There's also Angry Latin Love. Who are you referring to as Angry Latin Love there? And yes, I can jackhammer. Oh, that was reference to AOC. No, unfortunately, no such crazy bitch like AOC will ever enjoy that American penis. Because such American men enjoy liberty and patriotism, not socialism. That is why we fight them. They do not believe in the cause of the arming the proletariat. So AOC is as attractive to them as a cat is attracted to getting wet. Oh, the irony there. Yeah, very good. Oh, now we're going across her breast. It's a very delicate process of inking her breast in the most accurate way possible. Oh, it is so heaving. It is so full of great big American milk. I have this bowl of your American Cheerios. Could you please give me that and squeeze it in there? Oh, yes, that's good. Straight from the tap. That is quite good. Do I disturb you with all of these sex talk? I think I do. Yes, you will never get this. You will never get this. La 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 la. Oh. Generals gathered in their masses, just like witches at masses. Down a stew and the body's burning. Yeah, the wild pigs keep turning. Oh no, there. That's all I remember of War Pigs off the top of my head from Black Sabbath. As for Ozzy Osbourne, a man so incoherent in his speaking voice, he's so high and clear and soft in his singing voice. Always an odd paradox, like that one song. I think it was originally him who did the song Hellraiser that then Motorhead covered. I'm not sure who did the Hellraiser song first, if it was Motorhead or Ozzy Osbourne, but both the renderings are great, except for the Ozzy version. His high, clear singing voice is such a weird distraction compared to the song fits better with that Lemmy voice. On out on another stage, another time and another place, going out on another stage, another time and another place. Sometimes I don't feel right, nerves wound up too dang tight. I don't feel right, nerves wound up too damn tight. You see? Exactly. I think I just stung my vocal cords trying to sing like Lemmy. That's why I blame the WWF for knowing who he is because of the theme song, the entrance theme that Triple H had for the while, where I remember watching it originally that night when he did the interview where he first ever screamed out, "I am the game." Then that became his entrance theme, was the Motorhead song. It's all about the game and how you play it. All to the zone, and if you can take it, it's time to play the game. Time to play the game. And at WrestleMania 17, I remember, was the one where they got Motorhead to perform the song live for him. And supposedly after that, Triple H actually did some like backing vocals on a later Motorhead album, which is amazing. If they did the backing vocals just consist of him going, ugh. Now you see right here, it's kept, they just edited out all the uhs and they put that together. Like where he says over and over, like if Jeff Goldblum smoked. Ugh, ugh. And then in comes Lemmy. It's time to go to play. Yeah. Yeah. On that matinee. It literally does hurt to try and sing that way, like an impersonation. That's one of those impressions that hurts. Yes. It's a man whose singing voice is so metal, it hurts. It hurts. It reminds you of what it's like to be a virgin, hence, like a virgin. That's at the opening dialogue from Reservoir Dogs, where Tarantino himself and his character explains that the whole song, Like a Virgin, is about a guy with a big dick, and the whole song's a metaphor for big dicks. But yeah, Madonna, she's this girl who has this cat who's fucking her. She's this girl morning, noon, and night. Dick, 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 dick. And then she sees this one guy. But when this new cat, he's got everything she's looking for. But when this cat fucks her, it hurts. It hurts. It reminds her of what it's like to be a virgin. Hence, like a virgin. And according to IMDb, Madonna herself sent Tarantino a copy of that album with a message written on it saying, Quentin, Like a Virgin is not about dicks, it's about love. Well, I don't know if I would trust her word on that one. Madonna's one of those women where, yeah, I wouldn't really take her word for it. I need at least six reliable sources to really verify that statement. Um, Although Papa Don't Preach, yeah, that's a song where I don't need outside sources to know that's about a girl who got pregnant and isn't having an abortion. And well, I don't really think that Madonna's like a surgeon, although she probably's been around more surgeons than Joan Rivers, who herself said her face has seen more knives than a Benihana hibachi. Which, which now makes me grossed out at the thought of ever wanting to eat at a Benihana again. Because now when I think about Benihana, all I can think of is when they're doing the flipping with their hibachi, that's just Joan Rivers. That famous the one bit of narration in was it Wolf of Wall Street, where he's talking about it was I finally got busted over some shit that had nothing to do with me. It had nothing to do with me. About something about laundering drug money for offshore boat racing, a guy named Rocky Aoki. You know the guy I founded Benihana? Benihana? Benny fucking Hana? Benny fucking Hana? Why, God? Why would you be so cruel as to choose a chain of fucking hibachi restaurants to take me down? I'm never going to eat out at Benihana again. I don't care whose fucking birthday it is, Jordan. Yeah, there's the. I don't. I would still go to a Benihana if I was offered to go, but yeah, it would just take an awful lot of that fancy chef work to get my mind off of both Madonna and Joan Rivers. There's that comedian Robert Klein. He joked about a film role he did in I think it was the 70s, where he brought up I had to do a love scene with Joan Rivers, but honestly, the experience wasn't as messed up as I thought it would be because she was very professional. And as we were filming the scene, Joan sold me 4 bracelets. If you want something that's a little less formal, you got this jade one right here. And if you get it right now, you'll get free shipping and handling. Hey, slow down a little bit. Okay. You want something that's a little bit more for a night out? Over here, we got going on. It's this lovely little brooch that goes great on any kind of dress for a lovely informal night out with your husband. That was my Virgin alarm. It's designed to go off before you do. Hey, wait, you forgot to get married. Yeah, the Joan Rivers, of course, the voice of Dot, the R2D2. No, it was the voice of the C3PO parody in Spaceballs, whom I'm not sure if that was just Joan Rivers doing the voice or if that was her in the suit. I assume that was all just Joan Rivers in a recording studio afterwards, and that was like just some double in the actual suit for the Dot Matrix was her name. I was so nervous I couldn't hold my oil. The wedding at the end. Goodbye, Virgin Alarm. Yeah. Barf. Not in here. This is a Mercedes. No, that's my name. Half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend. Yes. Yes, what a cruel world we live in. John Candy dead. Amy Schumer still alive. It's like that joke Chris Rock made about only the good rappers ever die. No, it's always Tupac dead, Biggie dead, Vanilla Ice still alive. Yeah. There we go. Oh. Oh, or that yeah. Yes. Now I got the just the I think would you call that the Triple H hiccups? The Yes, and of course, Joan Rivers has also been dead for a while, and I think what was it like during the middle of a surgery? Actually, is when she died. Well, I'm guessing she died doing what she loved, going onto the knife. Would that qualify as dying doing what she loved, like when the guy from that show Hogan's Heroes died when a buddy of his that would film him having rough sex in motels caved his head in with his bare hands? Yeah, look that up. This the guy from this show called Hogan's Heroes that was big in the 70s. Yeah, he would go into these shady hotels with his buddy of his who would film him having rough sex. And the buddy went and decided to go and kill him. Caved his head in. Yes, that kind of perverted sex. That talking that kind of bestiality sex. The kind that Kurt Angle's a big fan of. Yeah. She touched my privates. Oh. Oh, ha, 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 ha. Another reason why I stopped watching the Oscars after Joan Rivers' death, that whole red carpet and post-show commentary, it was her act that actually made that stuff entertaining to watch. Now she's been gone for years, so now it's just completely insufferable. Or at least it's to me. I'm not for it. Oh, no more. Chris Benoit's here. Uh, uh, uh. And they call it cheesing. Why? Because it's fun to do. Triggering a cat to urinate to mark its territory and smelling the pee. Makes kids high. And they call it cheesing because it's fun to do. It's been rumored that Roman Reigns likes cheesing as well. Maybe and maybe not. I couldn't really tell you anything backstage about Roman Reigns besides that he should be the champion. Yeah, it's showtime. I really listen to Vince McMahon when he's not in his Mr. McMahon voice and tell me he doesn't sound like Beetlejuice. It's not every day that you meet someone who has the talent to regurgitate on command. Yes. And I mean really like puke. Yeah. He's gonna puke, he's gonna puke, he's gonna puke, he's gonna puke, he's gonna puke. Hey Mom, you'll be proud of me. I'm now known as Puke. Yes. Sad story of Darren Drozdov, a guy who got crippled in the ring. Yeah, he landed in a way where he got paralyzed. And that footage of him during that WWE event where he got paralyzed, the footage has not been destroyed. It is supposedly kept in a vault with the footage of Owen Hart's death, where they're not supposed to view it, destroy it, or duplicate it at all. It's supposed to just sit there in the archives of Stamford, Connecticut, up there where the WWF is headquartered. And I found somewhere right here on YouTube, somebody pirated the audio of the Spanish announce team as Owen Hart fell and their reaction. And if you can speak Spanish, yeah, you can hear like the Owen Hart entrance theme start going, and then you hear a little noise, and then suddenly the announcer starts going, oh no, and he starts talking, and I can't understand what he's saying, but that you can tell that was a live reaction of Owen Hart as he fell, and somehow the Spanish announce audio was available. Then I remember it was the full year later, they did that. The WCW did that tribute match where the 1 year after Owen Hart's death, they went to that same arena at WCW, and they had his brother Bret, of course, do a tribute match where it was Bret Hart against Chris Benoit. There's another uncomfortable reminder about him. Still not as disturbing as that one promo he did around 2004 where his face was covered in blood and he was looked into the camera and saying, "My wife. Tonight my wife and my children will not be watching Raw because I'm about to do something that is unthinkable." Yes. That's available, of course, pirated on here because you'll never see that on the WWE network again. You can't even search the guy, even when it's in the context of something like his main event match that he won at WrestleMania 20, or being him and Shawn Michaels being the only two men to win the Royal Rumble. That was the first entry in the Royal Rumble. And they'll say that where commentary will say, "Oh, there are only two men have ever been the first entry of the Royal Rumble to win? Shawn Michaels? And they won't say Chris Benoit. Uncharacteristically morally sound business decision for the McMahon family to not glorify Benoit at all, and do what they can to try to not put him in the Hall of Fame, because that would be glorifying him and downplaying his existence in their WWE archives. But then you start to wonder, I start to wonder at least, about other things, like when other companies do that, like with OJ Simpson and the NFL, like the NFL Network and ESPN will still have documentaries about it. There's a goddamn 5-part documentary about OJ. It's like the opposite effect, where the pro wrestling world stays away from Chris Benoit when they have the chance. They only in some context where their hand is forced, where they mention Chris Benoit. But then the opposite end, you've got the other world, in the sports world, where they don't want to stop talking about OJ Simpson and do a 5-part docu-series on ESPN, and then there's all these other things and all these other documentaries and all these other specials and other reports about it. And besides all of that, there's also the movies that he was in when he was acting. You can still watch the Naked Gun movies, on the cable TV, or watch it on a streaming service and all that. What OJ doesn't negate those movies from ever being circulated. While there's DVDs out there and things like that WWE puts out that even will outright remove or flat out ignore whatever Chris Benoit had as involvement in there. And what does that tell you about how one industry and one business treats somebody who was a murderer versus somebody else, and a different murderer in a different kind of sport, and a different line of work, in a different industry? That's at least gets me thinking of okay, ESPN and the Fox Sports and all the other, and just the sports press in general and the regular press in general, that's still milking the grievance over the OJ trial, while on the opposite end, the supposedly disreputable WWF eschews harvesting the pain and suffering that happened at the hands of Chris Benoit for profit. And basic things like the WWE Encyclopedia, where they have a half-page description of him in the book, and it's the most bare bones information about his title wins and what he did in the ring, and nothing outside, versus what all the vultures who still keep going back to the well of the OJ trial. And then there's all the things with Michael Jackson and his accusations, even though he was acquitted. He got acquitted twice. And there's still the Leaving Neverland, where it's nothing but anecdotal descriptions with no proof behind it. And yet that stuff gets there and gets out, and it's all over the world. And still milking that demented gold mine. That's what I would call it, demented gold mine. And with that, let's add a signature on this. Of course, I want to do it formally and do a formal version of the signature of Campbell's. I want to thank everyone tonight for watching. New viewers out there, please like, share, and subscribe. And of course, do not forget that I have an online art store linked below. And what you can do is go and follow that link to shop for pen and ink illustrations like this one in my store. They are $25 a piece plus shipping and handling. Color drawings are also available for sale at $20 a piece plus shipping and handling. Like this one I did earlier of Spider-Gwen. Yes. Besides that, there are also sketchbooks available for sale. Those sketchbooks are $50 a piece. No, they are $25 a piece plus shipping and handling. And I have commissions available for sale that are $50 a piece plus shipping. The commissions are the last thing you'll see for sale in my pen and ink illustrations categories. Besides all that, you can also donate to my store to support me and my work and the channel right here. Any dollar amount you want, if you want to help me out but don't want to buy or commission artwork, there you go. I also have Twitter and Instagram. And besides all that, I also have an Amazon wish list. And tomorrow, my subscriber Nick has announced that there'll be plenty of things from Amazon wish list will be coming in the mail tomorrow, and I may or may not be unboxing them for all of you to see. Besides all that, tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, I will have a new video uploaded for all of you to view, for all of you to enjoy. Whatever it is, I'll be the video you'll be viewing, I certainly hope you will be enjoying it, because there's just one more little detail in here to get in with the correction pen. Right there it works. That's let's go and exaggerate this other eye, little other eyelash up there. Right there, right there, right there. And thank you all, of course. And as always, see you, Space Cowboy.